Welcome back. It's been a while. So this video, I'm going to talk about the recap of the 2022 playoffs, where the Boston Celtics lost to the Golden State Warriors. The end result in 6 games in the NBA Finals. I'm just going to kind of recap the events that happened in that playoffs. You remember the first series against the Nets? So the Celtics that year were they were 23 and 24 to start off the year, right? Um, and I remember the first 2 games of that year. They lost to the Knicks. This was 21-22 season. They lost to the Knicks on opening night in double overtime. Remember Marcus Smart hit that three, ties the game. Then they eventually lose at the buzzer to force overtime. They eventually lose. And then the second game of that of the season against the Toronto Raptors, that was ugly. That was very, very ugly. They lost bad that night. So they were 0-2 to start off the year. 23 and 24, just past the midway point. It looked like they weren't even going to make. They were going to barely make the play-in tournament. And then they pull off a move. Actually, before they pull off that move, Jaylen Brown, I remember him tweeting this out. The energy is about to shift. This was late January. And when they lost that game against Portland before they went on their run, they had a lead in that fourth quarter, and they blew it. And I was so livid. And I'm saying to myself, this team isn't going anywhere this year unless they figure out and stop blowing leads in the fourth quarter. And they ended up losing the game 109-105. And at that point, they were 23 and 24. And it looked like they were going to barely make the play-in tournament. But then they acquired Derek White from San Antonio. I believe we gave away Romeo Langford, the first rounder. A couple other picks, too. They get him. They go 28-7 down the stretch, line up 51 and 31 overall, playing some of the most dominant basketball. You know, they're eviscerating teams left, right, and center. Eventually get land up in the 2 spot. And they play the Brooklyn Nets in the first round, the rematch of a year earlier. This year's a lot different. They didn't have Jaylen Brown ready for the 2021 first rounder because he had wrist surgery. And things were flipped this year around. You know, the Celtics were 7th the year before. Brooklyn was 2. Celtics were 2. Brooklyn was 7th. But this was the most dangerous Brooklyn team, 7th seed team ever. You know, Kyrie, Kevin Durant. You know, nobody wanted to play them. Nobody did. As a Celtics fan, I said, bring it on. We'll play them. And they sweep them in 4. Didn't start off that way, though. You know, remember, game 1, you know, where Marcus Smart, you know, passed it off to Jason Tatum. He did that spinorama buzzer beater off the glass. Celtics win 115-114. Did he get it off on time? Did he get it off in time? It might be Mike Breen yelling out, no, they wave it off. They wave it off. They wave it off. And then we checked the replay. Clearly he got the ball off in time. Celtics win and don't look back. They sweep the Brooklyn Nets. And I just said to myself, you know what? This might be something special in the making, because that was a really tough 7th seed going up against a 2-time champion in Kevin Durant and a guy who went to 3 consecutive NBA Finals. Mind you, all 3 of them with LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then we play the defending NBA champion Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee wins game 1, 109 as a 3 seed. 109-94. They really smacked us in the mouth that night. Game 2, the Celtics redeemed themselves. Game 3, Celtics lose 103-101. Jason Tatum had 10 points. He struggled from the field. He had 10 points in that game, and they only lost by 2. And I said from that point on, they're going to win this series. They're going to be just fine. Following game, Celtics win. Al Horford, 30 points. Remember when Giannis, dunked on Al Horford? and was flexing. Yeah. And Al Horford was like, oh, yeah, okay. You want some of this? He dunks the other way on him, and he flexes his arms. So it's 2-2. Game 5. Back in Boston. Celtics had a lead late and again blew it. Reverting to some bad habits, turnovers. Obviously, the Bucks hitting a few threes late. And they're down 3-2. And I'm saying to myself, like, the run that we've had since late January, the last 3 months, going 28-7 down the stretch, sweeping Brooklyn, and we're going to lose in 6 to mind you, it was against the defending champs without Chris Middleton, who just got traded, by the way. You got a game 6 in their barn. 2 words for you. Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum. 46 points. In a closeout game. In an elimination game. Versus the defending world champs in their barn. 7 3-pointers. Clutch as they come. 46 points. The Celtics force game 7. And we all know what happened there. It was the beginning of the end of the Milwaukee Bucks regime and the start of the Boston Celtics regime. Grant Williams, the unsung hero in that game, 27 points. The Celtics hit a franchise record, 22 3-pointers, and a game 7 record, I believe it was. 22 3-pointers. They were driving, drawing defenders, kicking out. Remember the one, Marcus Smart driving, kicks out to Al Horford. He passes to Derek White. He hits a 3. Jason Tatum drawing 3 defenders, kicking out to Jaylen Brown. He hits a 3. Peyton Pritchard, same thing. And the way they're going into the ball movement, the pick and roll was just unbelievable. Milwaukee stunned. Giannis Antetokounmpo missing easy layups. George Lopez doesn't know where he wants to come. Doesn't know if he should drop back into coverage or go out and defend Derek White. The ball movement, the 3-point shooting, Milwaukee just couldn't keep up. And the Celtics have been doing this for the last 4 years. They're just eviscerating teams. They had a bit of a slump early on this year. They're the defending world champions. Have a chance to do it again. And they play the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference Final against Jimmy Butler, who now got traded to the Golden State Warriors. Celtics lose game 1. Celtics had a bad stretch in the third quarter, is what did it for them. Turnovers, strip steals, sloppy passing, walking the ball at the court, no sense of urgency. And I'm saying to myself going into game 2, if we just protect the ball comes out a little bit quicker, ball move, we'll be just fine. We are the better team. I don't care if they're the number 1 seed. We're the better team. We're the more talented team. Celtics come back in game 2. Easy come, easy go. Tie the series. Goes back to game 3. Credit Miami, they punch us in the mouth. Celtics tried to battle back a bit. Marcus Smart and Jason Tatum in the same game, almost going out with season-ending injuries. Thank God that didn't happen. But Marcus Smart comes back and plays because that's what he is. He's a bull. He's a dog. He's a dog. Woof, woof. Celtics come out and eviscerate Miami in game 4. They were up 20-4 at one point in the first quarter. It was basically over after that. Game 5. Celtics win. Up 3-2. Jaylen Brown with some monstrous dunks. Jason Tatum, strong game. Game 6. Back at the Garden. The Garden is absolutely ruckus. Jimmy Butler, 46 points. Miami pulls out a gutsy win. It reminded me, it was very reminiscent to what happened 10 years ago from that point when the Celtics were up 3-2, mind you, against a better Miami Heat team. That was the LeBron, D. Wade, and Chris Bosh version of the Miami Heat. You know, remember the 45 points, 19 to 26 shooting, 45 points, 15 rebounds, 5 assists. It goes back to Miami. I knew Miami was going to pull it out because they were the better team. That was their chance to. That was the last, run of Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett, and Rajon Rondo. But I'm saying to myself, okay, this sucks. This sucks. But they didn't beat us by much. It wasn't a beatdown. It was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We're going back to Game 7. I still think we're the better team. I still think we're going to pull it out. Well, we've already beat them twice in Miami. Jason Tatum, 26 points. Clutch as they come. Celtics with just over 3 minutes to go, up 98 to 85. And Celtic fans are celebrating. We're about to go back to the finals for the first time in 12 years. And then the Celtics start doing Celtic things. Marcus Smart jacking up threes. Instead of taking time off the clock, ball movement goes away. Marcus Smart, 3, brick. Rebound, Marcus Smart, 3, brick. And the next thing you know, it's just under 30 seconds to go. It's 98-96. Jimmy Butler has the ball in his hands, dribbles the ball up the court, pulls up for 3, doesn't drive to the basket. He should, if he drives to the basket, he probably gets the basket and M1 has a chance to. It probably has a free throw. He pulls up for 3. I mean, I knew he rushed it. The Miami Heat, the Kaseya Center was about to erupt. Front rims at Al Horford, grabs the rebound. Marcus Smart drills 2 free throws. Oh, we're going to the finals! We're going to the finals! Celtics prevail 102-98. And they got the dream matchup against the 3-time defending champions, Golden State Warriors. Celtics win game 1. Didn't play well in most of that game. They had 40 points in the fourth quarter. It was a 3-point barrage. Lost game 2, sloppiness, turnovers. And you turn the ball over against that team. You got Steph Curry. And you've got Steph Curry, you got Klay Thompson. Transition. Turnovers against that team are lethal. It usually transitions into a 3. Andrew Wiggins, the defense he played on Jason Tatum. Every time Andrew Wiggins would switch on Tatum, he would just, the way he was guarding him was just impeccable. Yeah. So, and then Jordan Poole too. Same thing, just hitting 3s. Goes back to game 3. Celtics get a big lead, and then Curry, and then survive a Curry barrage. Pull it out. Game 4. Last 3 minutes of that game, it was tied, back and forth, back and forth. Steph Curry, who was questionable for the game due to a bad ankle, sure as hell didn't have a bad performance. 43 points on a bad ankle. And I knew right there and then, I'm saying to myself, Golden State with the Celtics are the more talented team here. There's no question about that. But Golden State and their championship pedigree took over, and their experience took over. Aside from that run, Game 5, aside from the run they made in the third quarter with the Celtics were just turning the ball over. Credit Golden State's defense. They were really trapping Brown and trapping Tatum. Even though Tatum averaged 22, 7, and 7 throughout the series, they did a really good job of defending them. And, this is their first finals. It's a learning experience. And then Game 6, the Celtics come out on a 14-2 run in front of their crowd, trying to force Game 7. After that, it was crickets throughout TD Garden. Or Steph Curry would say, put the kids to sleep. Golden State prevails. They win their 4th championship in 8 years. The dynasty continues. The Celtics, a great season. And I'm saying to myself, you know what? They'll be back. They'll be back. What a run it was, though. Like, sweeping Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant in the first round. Then beating the defending champions, after blowing Game 5 the way they did. Jason Tatum, obviously, I reiterate, 46 points in Game 6, forcing Game 7 at home. Grant Williams, the unsung hero, 27 points and 7 3-pointers. Almost blowing it against beating that first seed Miami Heat team, a well-coached Miami team, and a future Hall of Famer in Eric Spoelstra. So, yeah. That's the recap of the 2022 playoffs for the Boston Celtics. Crazy. And now, 2 years later, they're NBA champions and looking to repeat again. So, all right. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video just as much as we did producing it. Another one will be coming out soon. This time. Yeah. So, go Celtics. They will take on the San Antonio Spurs tonight. Have a good day.